I struggle though because time blindness for me from an ADHD perspective is something that I struggle with immensely. I've gotten better at it ever since I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was able to, learn ways to manage it. But I mean, just in general, as a human being that's an adult, time management is not it's not the easiest thing. So I kind of want to start there. So can you share some of the challenges that adults might experience sometimes when it comes to time management?
Yes. And I know I want to get your perspective on this too, because I know
Yeah.
you train people. But one of the biggest things that I hear,
Hmm.
like in my work, is people will be like, I get so discouraged
Mm.
about my time management. Like, I don't do my chores, I can't meet deadlines, and I'm late to
Hmm.
things. And so I'm just mean to myself about it. And it becomes
Yes.
this like self perpetuating cycle.
100%. 100%. I get down so much because so one of the tough parts obviously with ADHD is being able to push the start button sometimes, right? So like getting that initial jolt of energy to get things going is really difficult for people with ADHD. So not only will I get down from a time management perspective, but I'll get down because I will have started later than I wanted to on whatever task it may be. And I am also diagnosed with anxiety and depression. So like all of that kind of just starts to blend in together. And I get so upset with myself at the end of the day because I'll sit there in bed and I'll be like, I was supposed to do this. I didn't do it because of this, this, and this. My time management sucks. I could have done it, but I didn't. So it's definitely something that I have struggled with, and I know other people struggle with too.
That's probably my first tip for the day for
Hmm.
people. Something I like to do in my clinical work is I usually start with just looking at some of the maladaptive thoughts people have. So, mean things you think about yourself on a daily basis. So, it might be like, man, I couldn't get started on that project. I
Hmm.
hate myself. I'm a loser, something like that.
Hmm.
And you have to really break it down into the advantages and disadvantages because no one would believe something that mean about themselves unless there was some kind of advantage to it.
Hmm.
Right. And I find for a lot of people, it kind of falls into one or two categories. One of them is like, if I don't get my hopes up, I'll never get disappointed. So, like, if
Hmm.
I just like dunk on myself constantly for being late, then when I am late, I'm not surprised.
Hmm.
And the other category is like, if I'm mean to myself, it will help me do better. So, like, if I sit on my bed and I don't do the task, and then I'm mean to myself about it, it will motivate me to do the task. Does that make
Yeah,
sense how there are
it does.
advantages? Like,
It does. Yeah, and I think I actually started to realize that in college because I used to always turn in my papers later because I felt that if I had too much time to work on a paper or a project, I felt like my grade on that paper or project wasn't as good as if I just justified it. And it was like it's not there's nothing scientifically that proves that. I don't think. I don't know. There might be. But like I 100% sometimes would find ways to justify my lack thereof when it comes to or lack of talent when it comes to time management for sure.
I mean, and we could break that down. Like, for you, do
Hmm.
you feel like you related to one of those advantages?
I felt like I did, but like it's weird because I just found ways to justify it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it was the right thing to do. I justified it as a way to protect my brain because I would be like, Kai, you were supposed to do this 2 weeks ago. You're doing it now. And like there's no reason why you couldn't have done it 2 weeks ago. But then when the time comes, I kind of try to protect my brain. And I'm like, well, you could have done it 2 weeks ago, but you're doing it now. And you're probably going to get a better grade now because of it. And like that's the way I would justify it. And that's not necessarily healthy because I would have this added stress that in the long run wasn't healthy for me.